There we are.
We're going to record this session. That's how important we think this is. We're going to preserve it for all eternity.
Just a little bit.
Smile for the screen.
Okay. Are we playing right off?
Please join me, Ingrid. Way down by a southern sea, in the sky and the starlight, there's a girl remembering me in the deep and the dark night. Through the years and the winter wind, in the sky and the starlight, I can see her face again in the deep and the dark night. Our heart beats a lonesome sound in the deep and the dark night. You and I in the cloudless sky, we used to dream with open eyes. For you and me it's a mystery. This love was never meant to be. It's funny how the tables turn in the sky and the starlight. Will this fire always burn in the deep and the dark night? You and I in the cloudless skies, we used to dream with open eyes. For you and me it's a mystery. This love was never meant to be. Way down by a southern sea, in the sky and the starlight, there's a girl remembering me in the deep and the dark night. Thank you. No need to applaud. It's not really a show, but we appreciate it. I'm Jack. This is Ingrid. We go by last chance when we do shows, but it's not a show. We're going to talk about songwriting today. What was the title of that song that we just did? What would you, if you had to give it a title, what would you give it? What would you call it? No, I think it never meant to be. Anybody else? Why would you say never meant to? What?
Lost Love.
Ah,
Southern Sky.
Southern Sky. Then. Because you're picking up what? What was the song about? Anybody?
It was sad.
Well, you were here, didn't you? Weren't you
I
listening?
forgot it already.
Way down by a southern sea.
Oh.
What was the song about? Anybody have any feeling about it? Ellen?
Here's a song about a love that couldn't be.
And why? Why was that?
Maybe he didn't have any sex appeal, I don't know.
What made you pick up on that? What line or what line?
You'd have to do it again. And
The one where you always said never to be, or that never to be.
This love was never meant to be. Okay. Now, how about all the sky and the starlight? Did you hear there was a lot of repetition, right?
yes.
Anybody hear any lines repeated in the song? Anything stick with you? Well, structurally, I purposely didn't give you the lyrics because you would just be looking at the lyrics and not listening to me. But structurally, the song "In the Sky and the Starlight," and in the deep and the dark night are repeated every verse. That's line 2 and line 4 of every verse, over and over again. Because we're trying to, because when you're a songwriter, my theory is you got about 6 seconds to make some impression on your audience before they're going to turn away, and if you're in a bar, they'll go back to their beer, or if they're talking to their friends, or if you're lucky enough to be on the radio, if you don't get them in the first 6 seconds, they're going to change the channel. So that's what you got. So what a songwriter is always looking for is some kind of a hook, to latch onto that the audience, and often it's a repeated phrase, because maybe if it's working, maybe the audience will be listening. They heard it a couple times, and maybe they're going to be listening. They're going to come around again. At any rate, those are the kinds of things. My theory is that songwriting is very different from any other kind of writing. It's not harder, it's not easier, it's not better, it's not worse. It's different. It's different from writing a story, from writing a poem. It's different. And the reason, by the way, everything that I say is just my thoughts, really. It's not authoritative in any way, and there are exceptions to everything that I'm going to tell you. But my theory is that it's very different from if you're writing a story, if you're writing a novel, it's coming to the recipient through the eyes. And they have if there's a word that they don't recognize, they have the luxury of going and looking it up. Similarly, with a poem, most poems, with exceptions, come through the eyes too. People read the poems, and if they don't understand a word, they go look it up. You don't have that luxury as a songwriter, because basically it's coming through the ears. You're trying to attach people. You're trying to get them to listen, to hear something, and get them to be interested and to want to hear something. So you're limited in the long, multi-syllabic words that you might want to use. You're kind of limited as a songwriter. Exceptions. Paul Simon writes a song, Counting the Cars on the New Jersey Turnpike, and it sounds poetic and it's wonderful. But that's an exception. You're not Paul Simon. He can do it. But even a poem, the next thing I'm going to try to demonstrate for you is that there are a lot of, I've heard people say, well, I know how to write a song. I just take a poem and I set music to it. And while there are exceptions, I would say, no. A poem is an entirely different thing from a song. It's a different approach. You have different rules, different concerns, and here's the way I'm going to demonstrate that. We're going to. I'm going to read you a poem. Okay. Once my guitar is in tune. I'm going to read you a poem, and then we're going to go immediately into a song that was based on the same theory, the same theme, okay? And without discussion, you're going to listen to this, and maybe we're going to talk about what differences you pick up on, okay? This is the kind of poem that this is a sonnet. We have any poets in the class? Anybody does it? Do you know what a sonnet is? Well, I won't bore you with it, but there are certain rules when you write a sonnet. It's got to be 14 lines. It's got to be iambic pentameter. The first 8 lines have to have one theme, and then it shifts theme for the bottom 6. There are very detailed rhyme schemes that you need to use. But suffice it to say that we're going to do the poem, and then we're going to go into the song. I wonder if this morning, when you woke and rose and started out to face the day, you thought of me while passing time away. Between the time when morning's sunrise broke across the sky and when the shadowed cloak of evening fell, did any thoughts relay my image to your mind? Did you today have memories of love words that I spoke? I know not how you spent the day at all, but all this day my heart was set ablaze with thoughts of you. While aching for your touch, I strained my ears to listen for your call. The hours spent away from you are days, and days without you hurt my heart too much.
morning when you woke and rose and started out to face your day. Did you think of me? Did you think of me? Around the time when morning sunrise broke across the sky and headed toward your way. Did you think of me? Did you think of me? I don't know how you spent the day at all, but all day long my mind was caught on you, and dreaming of the daylight days we knew. Pulled me through, pulled me through. Your image tends to set my heart ablaze. I dream about the magic of your touch. Did you think of me? Did you think of me? The hours spent away from you are days, and days without you hurt me much too much. When you don't think of me, you don't think of me. I don't know how you spent the day at all, and maybe there was too much to be done for me to have a moment in your sun. Even one, even one. I wonder if this morning when you woke and rose and started out to face your day, did you think of me? Did you think of me? Did you think of me? Did you think of me?
All right, differences. Go ahead.
Well, I love the music more than I like the poem. And maybe it was because of the repetition of the did you think of me, did you think of me, because that's a very poignant thing, saying that to somebody that you really care about and you're not sure of.
And it works in a song, but it probably wouldn't work in a poem, right? If you read a poem,
It ran out of my head, but the song stayed with the music.
and that's what we call the hook. Go ahead.
There's always the constant debate. Lyrics first and music, or music and then lyrics.
And every songwriter will give you a slightly different answer, probably, because a lot of people work differently. Here's what I'll say to that. Familiar with Elton John? Elton John never wrote a lyric in his life. He writes the music, completely independent. And by the way, songs are brilliant, fabulous stuff. He always works with a lyricist. Most of the time it's Bernie Taupin. And here's the way they work. Bernie Taupin supplies the lyrics completely independently and unknown to Elton John. He drops them off, and they sit on this piano. Elton John doesn't write a note of music until he sees the lyrics, and then he crafts the music around it. Okay. Paul Simon, who writes on his own, does it completely opposite. He writes both lyrics and music, but he doesn't touch a lyric until he's got every note in place, where he knows where his melody is going, up and down, if there's a bridge, and whatnot. He has every note, and then he sits down, and then he fits the words to it. In the old days,